Hi, it's Danielle. This is my perfume journal where I document my love of perfume. 2026 has been the year of rekindling the joy of discovery and exploration for me, reducing the number of full-size bottles, joining my collection. In fact, I am about to embark on a massive curation slash downsizing project, not just my perfumes, but our entire house over the next year. Perfume collecting for me has never really been about the actual collecting of physical bottles. I see perfume collecting as more of like an exercise of the mind, kind of like the way we read books. Like some books you put on your shelf and you keep, and other books you borrow from the library to just enjoy for a time. You might pass a book on to someone who enjoys reading the same genre or style of a book. Some books are awful. You don't even want to finish them. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And to me, perfumes are kind of the same. So even though I plan to cull my collection back pretty drastically, I will never ever stop visiting the library of scent. So in today's visit to the perfume library, I have 7 fragrances to tell you about that I have sampled. And first we'll go with 2 perfumes that I have shared first impressions of in previous videos. I revisited them because they did pique my interest, and I have an update on both. First is Rose from Björk and Berries. This was one of the scents for my June sniff along. I chose it because it was a bouquet of pink florals with a Nordic twist. I thought that sounded really interesting. So it's pink freesia, lavender, magnolia, rose centifolia, orris butter, musk, and ambroxan. My first impression of this was that I got the clean lavender, the airy florals, and a nice musky base. And I love an airy floral scent. I love a perfume that gives that feeling of like standing in a meadow with a nice breeze blowing all around you. That just speaks to me, and I am always drawn to a perfume that feels that way, which is how this perfume felt in its first impression. So I went ahead and I gave it a full wear, and unfortunately, it did take a turn for the worse on me. The airy but also kind of zingy florals, I actually think the zinginess came from the lavender. That can often impart like a clean but also somewhat sharp characteristic to a perfume. And all of it was really, really nice in the opening. But soon after that, that cleanliness, it did start to feel a little bit like a scouring powder. It had that specific scratchy texture of a cleanser, not like an industrial cleanser, not like Comet, but imagine a scouring cleanser that was made by maybe like a natural brand. And then as the perfume kept evolving, the only thing that I could smell was the ambroxan and whatever aroma chemical they used to create the note of the cashmere wood. Those modern woody materials paired with ambroxan is what immediately turns, to quote the wonderful cast from Skin Sense for Fusspots, tarry aroma chemical on me. And once that hits, that is literally all I can smell. It smells like burning rubber to me and on me. So once I got that tarry aroma chemical, it was done. I did use up the whole sample, so it didn't go to waste. 1 ml is really just such the perfect sample size for that, like a single wear, maybe a couple of wears if you're a modest sprayer. So I'm glad I gave this one a full wear, but Rose ended up not being for me. While I was on vacation, I very briefly tried Existence from Amouage on a blotter in a store, and it intrigued me enough to order a small sample when I got home. So the main impression I got from this perfume when I tried it was the incense and the lily of the valley. And I love the pairing of incense and florals. Right now, this is actually what I am enjoying the most about the new Shalimar Millésime Rose. That almondy rose and incense combination is absolutely wonderful. I am so feeling that blend of like sweet and lightly smoky. So I thought Existence might be like a fresher take on that idea with Lily of the Valley as the hero floral note. Lily of the Valley is such a light, fresh green floral, very dewy, a nice balance, I thought, to the frankincense that is Amouage's kind of like signature. Okay, so this was an interesting one. I started out by putting just 2 sprays on a little round coffee filter. I actually really, really like small coffee filters better than paper blotters for sampling perfumes. Just a little tip. This is what they look like. I'll put a picture up on the screen. You can get them for about $9 for 1,000 of them. I love them because they absorb the perfume over a larger surface area and they're really easy to hold and kind of fan in front of you. So I love sampling with these. Anyway, I was sitting on the couch and the filter was on the table next to me for about an hour. And that is as far as I got with this perfume. It was nuclear and it was simultaneously making me sick and making me want to smell it more. It was so wild. I got up and I moved the filter to another room and I could still smell it everywhere in the air. It literally permeated everything. Now, in theory, I still liked it. That blend of lily of the valley and incense, super enjoyable. But there was something in this perfume that is also in Guidance, another Canton Biche creation from this line, the Amouage Odyssey line, that really makes me feel nauseous. I think it's that sweet, salty ambergris overdose that makes it feel like it was literally like just purged out of the belly of the whale. I just do not get along with that note. I know that Guidance and Existence are well loved by many people, but that ambergris note is just far too much for me. I could not even bring myself to put this one on the skin, even though I weirdly loved parts of this perfume in the air. So I kind of love when a perfume confuses me. To me, it is like part of the fun of sampling and exploring scents. It gives me something to think about, something to analyze. So goodbye, Existence. It was fun getting to know you, sorta. Moving along, I wore my sample of Michela Mezzetti's Crush Me one day. This came from the discovery set that she gave me when I purchased my bottle of Breathe Me in her shop. Now, I am not usually one who goes for cherry perfumes. They tend to go very medicinal on me, and I have tried so many of them, and none of them have landed until now. This is a cherry perfume for me. Listen to the notes. If you have been watching my channel, I think you're going to be able to pick out why I loved this. It's cherry, lipstick, orange, narcissus, dark chocolate, frangipani, sandalwood, vetiver, and musk. Okay? Okay? I swear to God, Michela Mezzetti is making her perfume specifically for me, or at least that's the story I'm telling myself. While this is definitely a gourmand perfume, there is this airiness in it. It's very similar to the airiness that I get in Breathe Me that I love. It must be like maybe the type of musk she's using in her perfume compositions. I really love it. The powdery lipstick and the vetiver accords, they add like this little dry quality that is a wonderful balance to the sweeter notes. So it doesn't ever feel cloying or like syrupy. And I think everybody knows by now that I love narcissus, that green, sometimes honeyed floral that also carries just a little bit of earthiness in it. I love it when a gourmand isn't like totally hyper realistically edible. Like there's a little surprise element to it that takes it from being like strictly food to being a wearable fragrance. And I think Michela Mezzetti has done that really well here. So Crush Me was an absolute win. I think I would like to get myself a nice big fat decant of this. It is fantastic. So I've seen a lot of chatter about the brand Denom here in lovely Fragcom, and Kimono has been on my list to try because it came up when I was obsessively searching for powdery lipstick scents. So Kimono was just okay for me. It smells exactly like the note list suggests it would. It is magnolia, powdery notes, rice flower, lipstick, and silk. And it absolutely has that powdery, starchy, silky texture to it, almost like cornstarch. You know how cornstarch kind of feels like slippery and silky? That's what this perfume felt like to me. And shout out to the wonderful Luc from Luc Parfums, who reminded me that powdery perfumes are about so much more than smelling actually like talcum powder. Sometimes the powderiness in a perfume is really a textural feel that you get. So I'm going to link Luc's video about powdery perfumes down below. It's a must watch. Okay, so the thing is that the actual scent of Kimono, it just kind of fell flat for me. It didn't have like dimension or layers to it. And with that incredible, incredible note list, I felt like it could have been a really layered kind of wear with all of the lovely parts of it ebbing and flowing. But instead, it was just kind of one dimensional. It was nice smelling. It didn't smell bad. It smelled lovely. But again, it just kind of fell flat for me personally. I think there are probably more complex, powdery, cosmetic lipstick perfumes out there that I would like more, but I am really glad that I tried this and I would like to try more from Denom. So for ages, I've been wanting to try Sûreté Lèvres from D'Orsay. Both Cherie from the Top Note and Karen from New Day New Scent have spoken about this perfume, and it sounded like something I would really love. And indeed, I did. So, first up, this is by Dominique Ropion, so there's that. And secondly, the notes. It's ambrette, pink pepper, orris concrete, jasmine, ambroxan, cashmere, and patchouli. Now, in this perfume, you have modern aroma chemicals like ambroxan and cashmere that are really, really nicely balanced, very nicely dosed. They never feel overwhelming. They're not tarry. They're not nose burning. This just smells like clean skin, like freshly washed, sweet, clean skin. I would almost describe this as like an elevated Glossier U, like the idea of that minus the sharpened pencils. This is modern elegance. That is something that D'Orsay does really, really well. So, do I need or want a bottle of this? No, I don't think I do. If I weren't downsizing the herd right now, I probably would pick this one up. But because I have a huge bottle of Peau de Soie, another kind of skin scent by Dominique Ropion, that one's a little more aromatic, while this one is cleaner and sweeter. I'm just going to use that one up before I look for even a decant of another perfume in this category. Still, I think this perfume is of excellent quality. It is of good taste. It is classic, modern elegance. This is one of those perfumes that would make somebody think, wow, she smells amazing without actually clocking that you are wearing perfume. It is wonderful stuff. Speaking of wonderful stuff, in the fragrance tag video, 30 perfumes in 30 categories that I did, Paulina recommended that I try Chypre Mojo from Parle de Parfum. It was her pick for the tropical scent category, and now I understand exactly why it was her pick. Paulina, I loved it. I loved it. Okay, so first of all, I love fruity perfumes. This is very, very fruity. This was less of a Chypre and more of a fruituli, but like the kind of fruituli that somebody who hates fruitulis would probably love. Michelle Elmerac did this one, and it is simply mango, bergamot, carnation, patchouli. So you would think that this would be big and loud and spicy because of the carnation and the patchouli, but everything is so well balanced, like perfectly balanced. It is so nice. The mango isn't like goopy and overripe. It's kind of like a firm green mango. And the spiciness from the carnation is nice and soft. It's not overbearing. It's not like a helicopter carnation. And the patchouli almost feels like fuzzy. It's not a Grateful Dead patchouli. It's like the patchouli for patchouli haters. And then, of course, the bergamot just gives everything like a nice lift. It's like a little perfume Botox. So is this a Chypre? No. Is this a fantastic fruituli? Yes, absolutely yes. So finally, I was really curious about this particular brand. I'm always curious, and if I'm honest, I'm always skeptical when brands seem to be blasting out tons and tons of PR. Usually I see this with those like venture capital brands. All of a sudden, social media gets flooded with photos of the same exact bottle of perfume on every YouTube channel and every Instagram page. Okay, quick, funny side story. So before I had my social media tantrum and deleted my old Instagram account, I had like 5,000 followers there. So it was at the level where brands were interested in sending me PR. I turned down some PR, I accepted some PR, and one of them was a bottle of perfume that was so completely everywhere, like literally every single post on social media for at least a month was showing a bottle of this perfume, and everybody loved it. So this brand reached out to me to offer me a bottle, and I was like, heck yeah, I'll take a bottle of this perfume. It sounds amazing. So it shows up in the mail, and I open it up. I'm all excited to smell it, and it is horrible. I absolutely hated it. But I did give it a few tries. I didn't want to be a jerk and like write it off without giving it a full chance. Also, the brand was very cool. They did not ask me to write anything about it. There was no obligation to post anything, but I did because I was like, hey, there are like 99.9% really positive glowing reviews on this perfume, and it's a very expensive perfume. A bottle of it was well over $200. So I imagine, based on the hype that it was getting, that a lot of people probably just blind bought it. Although I don't know who was left to buy it since everybody seemed to get a free bottle. Anyway, I was like, okay, the hype seems to have passed. I will post what I actually think about this perfume just to offer a counterpoint to the glowing reviews in case anyone else smelled it and thought, is there something wrong with my nose? So I got a very polite response from the brand thanking me for my review, but that was the end of my PR journey with them. And honestly, I really did not care because I don't care about PR and free stuff. In fact, I don't want more bottles of a perfume. And this was not the first brand to drop me for writing up an honest review of a perfume. But just to be clear, I do not think that all influencers are shills and liars. I do not subscribe to that way of thinking. I do think that there are plenty of honest reviewers out there who do receive PR and tell the truth. And I also don't think that all brands are shady either. This was just my own experience. I still stand firmly by my opinion that you can receive PR and tell the truth and remain in good standing with brands. Often in life, many things can be true at once, and ultimately, it is up to us, the consumer, to decide whose opinions we trust and whose we don't, rather than paint everyone with the same broad brush. And I'm not going to name brand names because, one, I'm a regular person. I don't want to get sued. And also, I don't want to assume things about these brands. This is only my opinion and my experience. Okay, so the perfume I sampled, the brand is called Place de la Rêverie. And I have no idea who is behind this brand, but it does seem, from what I've read, to be a bit of a passion project. I think sort of similar to independent brands like Eris Parfums and Les Abstraits. Maybe it looks like someone who has a real love of perfumes partnered with expert perfumers to bring a vision of a small collection of scents to life. There are only 3 perfumes in this line, and that to me is always a good sign. Like when you see an emerging brand instantly come out with like 15 perfumes, I always say to myself, like, what in the AI is going on here? So Place de la Rêverie has a woody, powdery sandalwood. They have a fruity floral that features orange blossom and peach, and they have a chocolate gourmand. So given the time of year that it is, I decided that I would try their fruity floral, and it is freaking wonderful. Natalie Feistauer did this one. It is pear and orange blossom and heliotrope, jasmine, vanilla, rose, oud, tonka, and musk. And I would not be scared away by the oud here. It's not prominent, but I do think that it's adding like some depth to the base and to the dry down. So this is my kind of perfume. It is basically a sweet, musky floral. The pear and the vanilla are delicious. They give me a bit of what I get in Prada Paradoxe, minus that saltiness. There is just a little bit of that like almondy Play-Doh thing that heliotrope provides. And then the orange blossom and the rose are so gorgeous with the pear note. It's sweet, it's powdery, it's a little bit juicy, it's very long lasting and pronounced. This is not a shy perfume. I am so glad that I did not write this brand off, and now I am really, really interested in trying their other perfumes in the line. I will be getting samples of these in the future, hands down. So these perfumes are really pricey. A 50 ml bottle is $260, so I am not going to be buying any of them, but I would definitely consider like a 5 ml decant as a little treat to myself. I really, really loved sampling this perfume, and I look forward to trying more from Place de la Rêverie. Okay, so this is my first round of sample sniffs for June. I am loving smelling perfumes with zero desire to buy any bottles at all right now. And with these samples, it's not just like trying them once. I have plenty that I have fallen in love with that I will actually wear. So my little bowl of Wear Me's is filling up with beautiful, beautiful scents that I can enjoy. Okay, I hope you enjoyed hearing about some new perfumes or maybe hearing about perfumes that you've already sampled too. I would love to know if you have tried any of these and what you thought of them. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for spending your time here with me, and thanks for chatting perfumes with me in the comments. Hope you have a really great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.